The American West is a land of breathtaking beauty and harsh extremes. Its vast landscapes stretch from sun-bleached deserts to towering snow-capped peaks, painting a picture of both abundance and scarcity. For generations, people have been drawn to this region by its promise and its challenge, a place where survival depends on adapting to the whims of nature. For years, drought has gripped the region, tightening its hold with each passing season. Rainfall has become a rare event, and the once fertile fields now lie exposed to the relentless sun, their soil turning to dust. The evidence is everywhere. Cracked earth stretches for miles, and reservoirs that once brimmed with life-giving water now reveal barren, muddy banks. Communities that once relied on these waters now face tough choices about how to ration what little remains. In Salt Lake City, nearly a year passed without snow. In Grand Junction, over 440 days. These are not just numbers, they are a testament to the anxiety and uncertainty that have become part of daily life for millions. These numbers reflect a deepening water crisis, with mountain snowpacks alarmingly low. The snow that does fall melts too quickly, running off before it can replenish the rivers and aquifers below. California's Sierra Nevada, the state's water lifeline, stood at half its normal snowpack. Farmers left fields fallow, unable to risk planting crops that might never see enough water to grow. The economic toll is mounting, and the uncertainty grows with each dry season. Forests, too, have grown vulnerable to fire, their trees weakened by drought and heat. Wildfires now burn longer and hotter, threatening homes, wildlife, and the very air people breathe. Wildlife struggles as rivers dry up, forced to travel farther for water or abandon their habitats altogether. The delicate balance of life in the West is under threat, and every living thing feels the strain. The rhythm of life, tied to snow and melt, was thrown into anxious uncertainty. Communities, farmers, and wildlife alike wait and watch the skies, hoping for relief that never seems to come. Even as winter arrived, January 2026 was historically dry, deepening the unease. The land, usually blanketed in white, remained brown and exposed, a stark reminder of how much has changed. The Colorado River basins reported record-low snow, raising a single urgent question: when will the storms return? The fate of millions depends on the answer, as cities and farms alike look to the mountains for hope. The answer was just over the horizon, carried by powerful currents in the upper atmosphere. Meteorologists watched the skies, tracking the jet stream and searching for signs of change. Change was coming, on a scale no one could have predicted. The West, long defined by its cycles of drought and deluge, was about to face a new chapter, one that would test the resilience of its people, its land, and its way of life. And then, the sky changed. And then, the sky changed. And then, the sky changed. A dramatic shift in weather patterns unleashed a series of powerful Pacific storms across the West. The drought was broken by a relentless procession of atmospheric rivers, each one heavier than the last. Meteorologists and residents alike watched as forecasts shifted from warnings of scarcity to urgent alerts about abundance. The first system hit on February 16th, marking the start of a wet, wild period for California, Nevada, Utah, and Colorado. The invisible architecture of the sky had opened the floodgates, wringing out immense moisture over the land. Snowpack and reservoirs began to refill, offering hope to a parched region. But this sudden bounty brought new dangers: floods, landslides, and more. Relief arrived, but so did a reminder: nature's power demands respect. The West was witnessing a transformation, both welcome and overwhelming. Nowhere is the impact of this winter more dramatic than in the Sierra Nevada, often called California's water tower. Stretching over 400 miles along the eastern edge of the state, these mountains are a lifeline for millions, storing snow that will eventually melt and flow into rivers, reservoirs, and homes across California. Once bare and brown, the mountains are now hammered by relentless back-to-back snowstorms, burying the highest peaks under astonishing depths of snow. Each storm seems to outdo the last, layering the landscape in a thick, glistening blanket. Forecasts call for double-digit feet in the higher elevations, a colossal deposit into the state's water bank. Snow surveyors trek through drifts taller than themselves, measuring the snowpack that will determine California's water future. This year, the heavy wet snow is falling lower than usual, blanketing foothill communities that rarely see such intense storms. Streets, homes, and schools are buried, transforming daily life and challenging residents unaccustomed to winter's full force. The weight of the snow strains trees and power lines, risking widespread outages and downed infrastructure. Utility crews work around the clock to restore power, even as the snow continues to fall, knowing that this same snow is replenishing the state's vital water supply. The transformation is nothing short of stunning. Brown, drought-stricken slopes vanish beneath a brilliant white cloak. The landscape is reborn, as if overnight, into a winter wonderland that promises renewal. Each snowflake is a step toward recovery, a tiny promise of water to come. As the snow melts, it will feed streams and rivers, slowly reversing years of relentless drought and breathing new life into parched lands. The sight of the Sierra buried in snow is both a symbol of hope and a reminder of nature's immense power. The forests, valleys, and peaks are transformed, offering a breathtaking spectacle that inspires awe and caution. Relief and risk arrive together. While the snow brings much-needed water, it also brings hazards, avalanches, road closures, and emergencies that demand vigilance and preparation from everyone living in its shadow. The mountains, once parched and desperate for moisture, are now the epicenter of a dramatic comeback. The Sierra's white blanket is a testament to nature's ability to heal, but also a challenge to adapt to its extremes. But the story is far from over. As storm clouds gather and snow continues to fall, the Sierra Nevada stands as both a reservoir of hope and a reminder that nature's story is always unfolding. The key to this dramatic reversal in weather lies high above our heads, in a powerful force of nature known as the jet stream. This fast-moving ribbon of air, thousands of miles long and hundreds of miles wide, snakes its way across the upper atmosphere, shaping the weather patterns below. Invisible to the naked eye, yet mighty enough to steer storms and dictate droughts, the jet stream is often called the river in the sky. Its twists and turns can mean the difference between parched earth and flooding rains. For months on end, a stubborn high-pressure ridge parked itself over the west, acting like a massive atmospheric wall. This invisible barrier blocked storm systems from reaching the region, leaving the land below to bake under relentless sun. Rivers shrank, reservoirs dropped, and the landscape turned brown and brittle, with communities anxiously watching the skies for any sign of relief. But now, everything has changed. A deep trough, a dramatic dip in the jet stream, has carved itself over the western United States. This shift has stalled over the region, opening a wide atmospheric gateway. Through this opening, storm after storm is now able to surge in from the Pacific, bringing with them the promise of desperately needed moisture. This new setup has created what meteorologists call an atmospheric river. Imagine a concentrated corridor of moisture, stretching thousands of miles across the Pacific Ocean, channeling water vapor at rates that can rival the flow of the mighty Mississippi River. These rivers in the sky are responsible for some of the most intense rain and snowfall events on record. As these invisible rivers collide with the towering mountains of the west, they are forced upward, cooling rapidly and releasing their moisture in dramatic fashion. Torrents of rain pour down on the lower slopes, while higher elevations are buried under feet of fresh snow. The mountains act as both a barrier and a sponge, soaking up the bounty delivered from above. And it's not just a single storm. Instead, the region is now facing a relentless train of storms, each one following the path carved by the stalled jet stream. Urban centers and rural communities alike brace for repeated waves of rain and snow as the atmosphere delivers its payload again and again. The result is a sustained deluge, with rivers and creeks swelling beyond their banks, streets flooding, and reservoirs finally beginning to refill. Meteorologists are forecasting above-average precipitation for weeks to come, a dramatic turnaround from the dry months that preceded it. The science is clear. The West is now directly in the crosshairs of a powerful, persistent flow of moisture from the Pacific. Animated weather models show a steady stream of clouds and rain, funneled by the jet stream's new path, bringing hope and challenge in equal measure. The weather map has been completely rewritten. What was once a stubborn pattern of dryness has given way to a new rhythm, one dictated by the sky's shifting currents. The fate of the region is now tied to the unpredictable dance of the atmosphere above. This transformation is about more than just water. It's a story of atmosphere, of invisible forces shaping the land and lives below. As the West adjusts to this new reality, the river above continues its journey, reminding us of the power and mystery of the skies. The storms bring relief, but also danger. Years of drought left the ground hard and unable to absorb sudden downpours, increasing flood risk. In Southern California, heavy rain turns dry riverbeds into raging torrents, especially near wildfire burn scars. In the mountains, wet snow snaps trees and power lines, causing outages and blocking roads. Avalanches become a real threat as unstable layers build up on steep slopes. Residents must prepare for emergencies. Water's return can sever the connections of modern life. The gift of precipitation is double-edged, demanding vigilance as well as gratitude. Nature's generosity comes with hazards that can't be ignored. At lower elevations, the story is rain and wind. Torrential downpours flood urban streets, overwhelming storm drains. Winds gusting over 60 miles per hour topple trees and damage buildings, making travel treacherous. In the mountains, blizzard conditions and whiteouts force authorities to close major highways, stranding travelers and disrupting supply chains. Residents are urged to stay home, prepare for outages, and respect the storm's power. The deluge tests the resilience of communities, even as it quenches the land's thirst. The message is clear. This is no ordinary storm. Nature's force is both a blessing and a challenge. Life across the West grinds to a halt as the storms hit. Plans are canceled, businesses close, and the focus shifts to safety and survival. Travel becomes nearly impossible, mountain passes close, trucks and families are stranded, and airports face cascading delays. For many, daily life shrinks to shoveling snow and checking on neighbors. Schools close, roads vanish under drifts, and communities rely on snowplows to reconnect them. Yet, amid the disruption, a sense of unity emerges. Neighbors help each other, strangers lend a hand, and the storm becomes a shared challenge. The forced pause offers a rare moment to appreciate nature's raw power. The economic toll is real, but so is the resilience and kindness that surface in adversity. The human story is one of adaptation, endurance, and community. Beyond the chaos, these storms are a lifeline for the environment. Years of drought left soil, forests, and rivers depleted. The deluge rebuilds mountain snowpack, the West's most vital reservoir. As snow melts, it feeds rivers, fills reservoirs, and recharges aquifers, ensuring water for months ahead. Plants, trees, and wildlife all benefit, as the ecosystem is revitalized from the ground up. Farmers gain hope for their crops, cities face fewer restrictions, and political tensions over water ease. The storm's hit reset on a landscape pushed to its limits. Rising reservoirs and deep snowpack offer security and optimism for the future. The West, once parched, now looks forward with renewed hope. As the storms move east, the West faces a new reality. The shift from drought to deluge is a stark lesson in climate volatility. Relief is tempered by the knowledge that true recovery takes time. Groundwater and major reservoirs need more than one wet winter. The challenge now is to manage abundance, capturing water, preventing floods, and investing in resilient infrastructure. These storms remind us of our dependence on nature's cycles and the need for flexibility in a changing world. The snow will melt, rivers will flow, and life will return. But the memory of drought and deluge will shape the choices ahead. The American West stands at a crossroads, humbled and hopeful, ready for whatever comes next.